So till the last day, I discussed that how actually what is actually it's called the LWC. That means what actually LWC component having. That means one is the HTML part, one is the JavaScript part, and another one is the XML part. And what actually HTML is means signifies everything I discussed. And last day, I shown you that how you can call a Apex class from there, means any Apex method or Apex class if you want to call. And also I explain about the connected callback. So any questions till that much, whatever actually we discussed till last session regarding the connected callback. So can anyone have any doubt? Santa, actually I can call the connected callback. I can
Hello?
write the connected callback.
Hello, sir?
Yeah, just tell me when actually I will write the connected callback method.
Connected callback method. It's
Yes.
work.
Sir, when sir, without button, I want to reload the page. So this time I using the connected callback.
Okay. Ansita, Ansita আছো কলে? Nitadi, today is your first session or last
না
session?
এটা আমার সেকেন্ড সেশন।
লাস্ট সেশনে তুমি জয়েন করনি তাই তো?
না, লাস্ট সেশনে আমি ছিলাম না। হ্যাঁ।
ওকে, সো সোমনাথ দা, কানেক্টেড কলব্যাক কখন আমরা কল করি? Actually, connected callback we are calling if at the time of loading of the LWC or screen, if we want to display something automatically without any button click or something, then actually we are write the connected callback method in the JavaScript. Okay, so connected callback always low means called automatically at the time of loading the LWC screen. Either you can refresh the page, or if you want to just, because if you added the LWC screen in a tab, any page, whenever the page is opened or tab is opened, that means automatically you are opening the LWC screen. So that time always the connected callback will be called first. Okay.
হ্যালো,
হ্যাঁ,
বলছি কানেক্টেড কলব্যাকে কোনো কি প্যারামিটার পাস করা যায় না?
পাস করা যায়, আমি এটাই আজকে ডিসকাস করব। ঠিক আছে,
আচ্ছা।
আমি জানতে চাইলাম এই জন্য কানেক্টেড কলব্যাক জিনিসটা বুঝেছো কিনা সবাই। তো আলটিমেটলি বিকাশ যেমন ঠিক উত্তরই দিয়েছে, বিকাশ ইউ হ্যাভ টোল্ড কারেক্টলি, just a small point, that means at the time of loading of the page we are calling the connected callback. Now same type of method, another method we have, it's called adapter, called where adapter. Adapter is actually a functionality, inbuilt functionality in LWC. There are three kind of adapter you have in LWC. Okay, one called the where adapter. Where is actually is called, where means it's a connection. Okay, now like if you consider the normal where, by where actually electricity goes from one point to another. Same thing, where method or where adapter you can say we use whenever we want to automatically fetch some data at the time of loading of the screen from the server side component. Server side means from the database, you can say. So same like connected callback, where connector or where adapter also doing the same functionalities. Okay, and also it is giving some of the flexibility, it's automatically caching the data. Connected callback does not cache the data. That means whenever you refresh the page or any page value changes, it automatically give you the new record. But in where it takes some time because it is storing the data in a cache, local cache. Okay. So another kind of adapter is there in the LWC component is called API adapter. API adapter is actually, you can say, the public parameter of Apex. That means any global variable, if you want to make it a public one, that means anyone can access, then normally what we write before that particular variable, we write the public statement, right? Public, then the data type, and then the component, sorry, the variable name, correct? In Apex. So here, if we use API adapter before any variable, that means we are making that variable as a public. And another kind of adapter we are using that called track. Track means actually it is local variable. It means we are assigning any variable as a local variable, then we are using the track. Track means it is actually keeping the track of the change of the component. That means if any time any value has been changed of that variable, automatically it will be tracked on that particular variable. If we use the track variable just before the variable name, okay, no, not track variable, I can say track adapter before the variable name. How actually it will be done, I will come one by one. First, I will discuss today that how actually you can pass any parameter value from the LWC screen to Apex class via the connected callback. First, I am showing, and then when I will discuss about the where adapter, then I will show the that particular one. Let me share my screen. So what I am doing, I'm just writing one another kind of method in Apex class. Where actually I'm passing one of the variable, let's say account ID as a parameter. Sorry.
হ্যালো
হুম, বলো কে বলছো? হ্যালো,
হ্যালো
হ্যাঁ
হ্যালো
সোমনাথ দা।
না না কিছু না আপনি এগোন অন্য
ওকে, so I have written one method. I will call this method, and I will pass some parameter. What actually it's doing, I am passing the account ID and it fetching the contact related to that particular account ID. Okay, and it's returning the list of contact. Now this method I will call from the connected callback. First of all, let me go there. What is this particular one, I will explain later. This is nothing but a URL. We are actually making this URL here. Now just what I will do, I will just use this particular method here and open this one. Now in the connected callback, let me just open this, just close this one. I will just call this particular method. Let me open this particular one so that you can see the list. Sorry. So what I have done, see, just first of all, I just written a new method here, marked as auto enabled. I written a new method where actually I'm passing some parameter. Let's say it's account ID. And based on that, I doing the query, SQL query. And then I am returning list of the contact. Now in a JavaScript, what I have done, I just same way, I just imported the method. And in this particular variable, I just imported the method. Now I'm calling this particular variable from here, connected callback. Now, when I'm calling the connected callback, previously, when you seen that I have not passed any kind of parameter, what I have done, just I have done this one, correct? Hello.
Yes, sir.
Now, just I am passing the parameter here. So, what parameter? What I have written here? This please carefully note that one. I just call this particular method. Method means this is the local name. This is the local name, not the name of the method. Name of the method I already called, and I just given a local name there, and I'm calling that particular local name, and then inside that, within first bracket and second bracket, I am passing the parameter. Now what this will be, acc id. Now why acc id have given? This name will be always whatever I have given here, the name of the variable. That means any variable name whatever I mention, same thing I have to give here. Okay, colon, and then I have to assign the value. Now here I am dynamically, you can say, means static id I have mentioned. Let's say if I go to the page, I just randomly assign some of the account name, account variable, you can say. Sorry, account id. No, there is no contact. Let me find some of the account where actually we have contact. There is no. Let me go to the contact, then I think we can find. Data colada. Let's say data colada account if I get, then what will happen if I pass the ID, then via query, I will get these three account as the, sorry, these three contact data. Now I am just taking this hard code ID and passing there. Okay. Now, if I want to pass not any hard code value, then I can dynamically also I can pass some value. Like, let's say here, I'm assigning this particular value. Okay. And this value I can pass here. How I can pass this variable value? This dot value. Okay. Then again, if I want to add any other parameter, what will happen? First, you have to assign this parameter here. In again, if you want to send any kind of another parameter, let's say I'm passing another parameter, string call email. And also I want to use that particular one in the query. An email equal to this email. Okay. And whatever the email value I am passing here, let's say as of now, I'm just putting this particular in a variable static value. Static value means, let's say this particular value I passed. Okay. Oh. Now see here I have given two parameter. So I have to pass here also two parameter. Then again comma and email. Email means this field name. If I mention here email ID, then whatever the changes I am doing, the same change it should be reflected here. Colon this dot whatever the variable name or any static value, whatever you want, you can pass. So I have passed the two parameters. You can pass 3, 4 parameters. Okay. And the same thing, whenever you are getting the value, you are actually assigning in a list. See the result, whatever the result you are getting, you are assigning in a list. Here actually I mention is a list, display list. Actually it's an array. That's why I mention in this way. Or otherwise, if I don't want to mention, I can just do same thing also. But better that we should always initialize that one. Initialize with blank value. Like this way, actually I am initializing. That means it's a blank list. So only a list of data it we can assign here. Okay. And then that's why I have done the return type as a list. That's why actually only list of data actually I can assign here. And here whatever I am doing, I will come later. Now same way actually I am displaying in a lightning data table. Key field means the which is the key field. That means how actually we can recognize the each and every row. Here automatically it will be ID. Data means what is the data we are referring here. That means what are the data we got written, that will be displayed here. And column means what are the columns you want to show, and columns we mention here. Here you can see I have taken the ID field as well. Okay, as I taken the ID field, I have to just mention the ID as well here. Okay, I have taken the first name, last name, email, phone number. Okay, let me deploy this one first. Oh, sorry, I changed here. I have not changed here. Now let me deploy this one. We go back to the home page and see what actually we get. See, automatically see the row is coming. As I given the email filter, that's why only one value is coming. And if I remove the email filter, now if you don't want to pass anything, what you will do? You will just do something like that. That means you are passing the blank value. Okay. Let's say I don't want to give any kind of filter. So just I'm doing some if condition here. That means if email is blank, then I should not query, do the filter means query on email. Else if there is value, then I will do. So those kind of control you have to do in the Apex class. Okay, let me just close this one. So what actually I will do here, I will call one parameter called string dot is blank. It's a method. Okay, inbuilt method. I am checking if it is blank or not. If it is blank, then I am not doing the filter on email. Else means it is not blank. Then I am doing the filter. Okay, let me deploy this one. Oh, sorry. Call list. Okay, I just do one thing. I have to assign as it is actually assigned inside the loop. Sorry, inside the if clause. That's why it is giving error. It is not getting the reference. So that's why I just initialize the list outside the if statement. Now actually it will not give me the error. Now let's deploy this one and see what is happening here. See, 3 values is coming as I have passed the email field as a blank. Clear? Somnatha?
Okay.
Nitadi, Anshita, clear?
Sir,
Any?
I have a one question. Hello.
Mhm. Yeah, tell me.
Sir, write a hard code above the connected callback. So, but how can get the uh, others two ID?
Two ID means?
How can show the others two ID? But because you already mentioned hard code mentioned the one ID.
I cannot get. Which other two ID means?
Please showing the user interface. There.
Oh, ID name. Two ID number
How
is
to
showing na? First and second column.
This is actually the contact ID,
not no,
not
I
the
know, sir.
account ID.
Okay. So,
I
okay.
passed the account ID here, hard coded, and I
Oh,
queried on the account ID.
okay. One account under how many
Yeah,
contact
yeah.
there
So
have
in this
so
account,
only
you have 3 contacts, and then 3 contacts details you can see here. Okay. Now I just pass the parameter, the account ID.
okay.
For the example purpose or demo purpose, you can say I just pass the hard coded ID.
So
Also, I
without
pass,
hard code, how can I do this, sir?
you can assign any variable there, or you can fetch the data from another component or another part. Let's say, okay, how actually you can do? Let's say you just first in the first data table, you just select one account.
Okay.
Do a was assignment there. In the next session, please show me an assignment. So
Okay.
there will be 2 data table. One is the account, another one is the contact. Whenever you select any account, you can select only one account at a time. Whenever you select any account, there should be one button. When you click the button, automatically that related contact will be shown.
Okay.
Okay. Then what will happen? Whatever the account you are selecting,
Yes, I understand, sir.
that ID automatically you will pass on the next iteration or next method. Okay. You are selecting some of the row. Let's say you are selecting this row. Then whatever the ID is there of that row, you are storing in a variable. Where? In which variable? Here in JavaScript. Okay.
Okay.
And that variable variable value you just passed in another Apex method. Call another Apex method. Either you can automatically call or you can call from a button click. Another Apex method, pass that account and show me all the contact related contact list. This will be your next class assignment
Okay, sir.
for everyone. Okay. Here actually I have shown you the connected callback. Now how you can call on the button click. Instead of connected callback, you just pass the button click method. That means in the first in our first actually class, I shown you something like call. Let me just open that one. Here I just shown you one lightning input box, right? Here I shown you the on change. Same like lightning input button also is there. There is a parameter called lightning input button. Just if I go there in the Salesforce, okay, input button, just search with lightning input button. So you can see here automatically you get some component and also JS. See here in the lightning button, this is the lightning button. This is different kind of variant. Variant means you can see here base means there is no background. Neutral means there is a background but inside is no color. Brand means actually it is styling. Automatically it is taking the styling. You don't have to do anything. Brand means it is actually with a color inside blue color and the button name is coming as a white. Okay. And there is a function called on click. On click is actually a operation. That means whenever you are clicking the button, then what will happen? Same like at the first demo, means first session, how I explained. This is an input field. On changing the name, I am calling one method, right? If you just go to this JS, demo JS, so on changing the name, we are calling this particular change handler method, event method, correct? So same thing here, if you write the lightning in button, then on click, you will call another method, call any method you can call. And inside that method, you can use the same, means any Apex class. Same way, whatever I shown you, in this way you can call this in this way, just in this way. And you can pass the parameter. Clear? Any questions, any doubt on this particular one? I just already given you the solution, how you have to do, what you have to follow.
হ্যালো
Hmm.
স্যার অন ক্লিক ইভেন্টের মধ্যে ওই কানেক্টেড কলব্যাক যেটা আছে ওইখান থেকে লিখতে হবে না
কানেক্টেড
যতটুকু
কলব্যাক
সিলেক্ট
হবে না, কানেক্টেড কলব্যাক আবারও বলছি আমি, যেটা কানেক্টেড কলব্যাক ইজ নট এ ইভেন্ট। কানেক্টেড কলব্যাকে এই জন্য দেখুন ব্র্যাকেটে কোনো ইভেন্ট দেওয়া নেই, ইটস নট ইভেন্ট, it's always a separate method. It's called on the load of the LWC screen. So you, whenever you are calling any event, then you have to write a separate method, like this will be name something on click button. This will be the method name, and here you will mention the event. That means it will be called on the clicking, on the doing some event function. Okay, got the point?
ওকে
And this method you have to use here, where you have to use in HTML. Hello HTML here. Let's say here I am just writing this one. Let's say this one I am taking. And I just given the label as find contact. You can mention title or whatever you want, and on click I will call this particular method. handle on click. Actually, it will be better that I should write something like called handle on click, or any kind of name you can give. This is the method name. So you have to call this particular method. Okay. So what will happen when you click, then automatically this particular method will be called.
Okay.
Same thing will happen. I will show you. Let me do something. Then it will be clear to you as well. Let me, this is a separate kind of array list I mentioned. Okay. Now in the connected callback, I am just displaying the same list. Sorry, I am displaying the result in a display list array. Now this is the separate array. So what I will do, just do some changes, and let me close this one. On clicking on this particular button, I am opening another lightning card. I'm just this lightning card I will call. Means this data will be populated when I click the button. Clear?
Okay.
Now here the data has been assigned a separate list. It's called list of contact. This is different array, local variable. Columns is same. I'm showing the same kind of columns. There is no change. Just I have given the title as column contact record 2. Okay. Now I'm deploying this one. I have not written any kind of Apex method, new Apex method. I'm calling the same method. Okay. Let me go to the page. Now see, there is button is there, but no data is coming. Why? On load it is not called, because it's a event function. When I click that one, then it will come. That means whenever I am clicking the button, what is happening? When I am clicking the button, then on click event is firing. On click event is firing, then it is calling this method. Now when it's calling this method, what is happening? It is actually then calling the same Apex class and passing the same parameters. And I am assigning this list in a new variable. Why I have assigned this list in a new variable? So that actually you can understand. If I use this particular same variable here, then you will be confused. Automatically this variable is we are populating on the connected callback. So at the time of refresh, automatically this list will be populated. Correct? So that's why I used a separate list to fetch the data or store the data, you can say. That's why when I am refreshing, that time the event function does not call. Always connected callback method will be called, and where method will be called. Where adapter or where method you can say, that we'll discuss later. Any event function will not be called. Whenever I'm clicking the button or doing some action, that time some operation or event is firing, and then that is happening. Clear this part?
Okay.
So this will be your next day assignment. This table will show all the account. You can show account name, account ID, or any other fields if you want. It is your choice. Just select any one. You can select only one at a time, not multiple. Okay. And then when you just select any one, and then there should be one button called same find contact. When you click the button, then automatically whatever the account you are selecting, that ID will be passed on that particular event, and then the related contact will be called. Clear? And displayed.
Okay, sir.
So now the the method calling and also passing parameter, it is clear to all.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Sir, there was two different lightning card or a same lightning card uh,
I just
in the user interface.
no, lightning card I mentioned different, but you can do this in the same lightning card, no problem. Whatever the feasibility it will be, but better that you should show that in a different lightning card, so that it will be a it will look like something like that way, because there is a big gap. Actually, lightning card actually create a separate big section. So if you do in a separate lightning card, it can give a big, you can say, gap between these two particular table. Here you can see. But whatever the feasibility it will be, forget about the design part. Design means the design of the page. First, you try to understand the functionality and try to build the functionality. There actually you can face the problem. Okay. So that's why that will be your first target. Okay. Okay. Second thing, actually, any questions on this particular part? Anyhow?
স্যার ওইখানে যে হাইপারলিংক করেছেন উপরে কলাম, সেকেন্ড কলামটা, ওইটা একটু এক্সপ্লেন করবেন?
এটা করছি। সো এখানে, so where actually I have done, this is actually a separate column I added. Now label of that column, I given name. Label means this particular one, means header of that column I given name. Okay. And in between, whatever the field I am fetching, it's a different field. Con link I just mentioned. Con link is not any kind of field which I fetched from the database. This field value or field name or whatever the combinations I am creating here. Here you can see. It's a parameter of that particular data table, each and every record. Okay. And what kind of field type I am using? I am using URL. Now, what is called the type attributes? Type attributes means which kind of actually attributes you want to mention here. Now, what value it will show? It will show the first name. And target underscore blank means actually it is a property of the URL. Normally, what is happening whenever you get any URL, when you click, automatically it will redirect you in a separate page, right? Now, separate page, when it is redirecting, @blank means it will redirect you in the next tab. Means whatever it's redirecting, it will open in a next tab. If I mention as a underscore self, that is, it will be open in the same tab. And what field name first name is showing here? Label, that means the name of this particular row. What means what value it will show? It is showing see first name. If I just mention here the last name, it will show the last name here.
এখানে ফার্স্ট নেম লাস্ট নেম কন্ট্যাক্ট করে যায় না, প্লাস করে কনক্যাটিনেট করে?
Let me check. That's why I given the name, but concat it is taking or not. Let me check.
Sir, can we take the full name? The full name is also a field of contact.
Yes, full name actually I
Yes,
thought it is not fetched in the query. That's why it's not taking. No, it's not taking. So there is actually, we can use a formula field, and then that formula field we mention here. We just do the query here, the formula field, and then we can mention. Let me check if name is taking or not. This is the field you are mentioning, right? Let me check it will take or not. And then I'm just mentioning name. Yeah, it is taking. Just why I have not queried that one, it's not taking. Now see, this con link, this field name actually this is not actually any standard field. So we have not fetched anything. So on the fly, we have to make this particular field. Okay, means the properties of this field we have to build the values, not properties, the values. That means if it is a type of URL, then we have to populate that URL. Now, whatever you can see in the front end, that is okay. But whenever you are making in a URL, see, you can see here it's coming as an underscore something. Now, this particular URL value we have not populated. We have to populate. So on the fly, I am populating here. Now, what is here mentioned? Result dot for each. This is called the for loop in LWC. This is a list. Result is actually a list of data, right? Now, for each row, you have to configure this particular field, conlink. Field, whenever I'm talking about the field, don't be confused on the Salesforce field. It's actually on the fly, some data table field we are creating. Okay. Now, for each row, we have to configure this field. So that's why result dot for each. Now I am assigning some parameter, con. Means like in the for loop, whenever I am just referring some of the list, I'm giving some of the local variable name, right? Let's say contact is the data type, and then I'm mentioning the local variable name, then colon, then I am mentioning the list. Means which list I want to iterate, correct? That local variable name we are calling inside the for loop, correct? Just I want to mention here something like that. Let's say in this particular for loop, whenever I am writing the for, what I am mentioning? First, I am mentioning the data type. Sorry, the object type for which I want to call this list. Let's say here the contact. Okay. Then I am mentioning one local name, which will be
Only.
referred inside the for loop. And then I'm mentioning which list I want to iterate. Correct? And inside the for loop, I'm calling this one, then dot something, whatever the operations I want to do, right? Just consider or remember this particular for combinations on Apex. Same thing I'm doing here. Result is the list, dot for each. Now I'm giving some local name. Local name here the same local name. Now for each local name dot conlink. Dot conlink means this field. This is the field name, right? So what is the parameter it will be? It will be equal to slash plus con ID. That means I am appending contact ID inside that URL. Okay. So what is happening? It is happening like whenever I am populating that one, then when I am clicking this one, automatically it will redirect me to the contact page. Now, as I mentioned self, that's why it's opening that in the same tab. Okay. It's actually the hyperlink. Same thing we are doing in the hyperlink, right? In a standard field, if you want to mention, or formula field if you want to create, then we are doing some hyperlink. So same thing actually here we are populating in a lightning data table via custom way. Now if I mention blank, then what will happen? It will open in a new tab. Just refreshing this one. Now if I just click on that one, then see it is opening in a new tab. Clear? Any doubt?
হ্যালো, বলছি কোনো অবজেক্টের মধ্যে যদি কোনো একটা হাইপারলিংক ফিল্ড আমি বানিয়ে নিই, তাহলে ওটা আমি এখানে ইউজ করতে পারি তো এইসব
একদম
না
পারি।
করে?
আমি ওটাকে ইউজ করতে পারি, বাট আমি যদি চাই না আমি এরকম কোনো ফিল্ড বানাবো না। See, whenever you are creating any field, that means you are actually making the more maintainability cost. Okay. Something if on the fly is possible, then we should not write a formula field, right? If something is not possible, then definitely we can think about those. এই যে জিনিসটা আমি তো অন দ্য ফ্লাই করতে পারি, তাহলে আমি কেন শুধু একটা ফর্মুলা ফিল্ড বানাতে যাব? ঠিক আছে, কারণ আমি ডেটা টেবিল, আমি অবজেক্টের মধ্যে 1000টা ফিল্ড বানাতে পারি, তারও একটা লিমিট আছে। এবার আমি যদি এইসব ফিল্ড বানাই, তাহলে আমার কি হচ্ছে, একটা মেনটেনেবিলিটি প্রবলেম হতে পারে, বা আমার শুধু একটা ফিল্ড দরকার নেই যেটা আমি এখানেই করতে পারি, আমি যখন লাইটনিং মানে কার্ড ইউজ করছি মানে এলডব্লিউসি, তখন কেন আমি শুধু শুধু একটা ফর্মুলা ফিল্ড এইটুকুর জন্য বানাবো? আমি সেটাকে করতেই পারি, যেমন এখানে ফার্স্ট নেম আছে, আমি এখানে একটা কাস্টম ফিল্ডও তো বানিয়ে এখানে রেফার করতে পারি, কোনো অসুবিধা নেই। এবং আমি টাইপটা দিয়ে দিলাম ইউআরএল, তাহলে তো ওটা ইউআরএল হিসেবেই দেখাবে, ঠিক আছে? বাকিরা তো পুরো চুপ। শান্তা, কানেক্টেড কল ব্যাক কখন কল হয় বুঝতে পেরেছো?
হ্যাঁ স্যার, বুঝতে পেরেছি, কিন্তু স্যার কোডিং গুলো স্যার জাভাস্ক্রিপ্ট এগুলো তো করা হয়নি স্যার, একটু টাফ লাগবে মনে হচ্ছে।
জাভাস্ক্রিপ্টের অ্যাকচুয়ালি মিনিমাম ভার্সনটা বোঝাচ্ছি, জাভাস্ক্রিপ্ট আরো বেশি কমপ্লেক্স হয়, অনেক কমপ্লেক্স হয়, বাট এটা খুবই মিনিমাম ভার্সন ইউজ হয়েছে। এটা অনেকটা তোমার অ্যাপেক্স এর মতোই দেখতে লাগে। কিছু কিছু জিনিস তোমাদেরকে মনে রাখতে হবে, সিনট্যাক্স, এটা সবসময় মনে রাখতে হবে। সিনট্যাক্স গুলো কিন্তু গন্ডগোল হয়ে গেলে প্রবলেমটা, সবচেয়ে বেশি প্রবলেম হয় এলডব্লিউসি তে, যে তুমি ডিবাগ করতে পারবে না। অ্যাপেক্সে কি হয়, তুমি ডিবাগ লগ অন করে ডিবাগ করতে পারবে, there is no debug system. How you can debug? You can just right click on the page and click on inspect, and here in the console, here you will get some options. In the console you will get the options if you are getting any error. It will not show you any debug log in any error on the fly. If there is any mismatch in the JavaScript, it will just don't load the page, or it will show the blank value. That is the main issue in JavaScript. So be very, very, very careful on the particular syntax and the format. If you write exp or te capital or t capital, it can break the component. Better something, whatever is automatically populating, take it. Otherwise, if there is some syntax problem or you cannot understand, just search in Google and then try to use it. Whenever you are trying to do that, if you try to write the code in your free time, then actually you can learn. Like just I explained the connected callback, it is not an event. That means on the button click it will not be called. And even a connected callback method, if you write something called connected and then you have forgot to write the callback, then it will not be called at the time of load. So everything is very important. However, how I am writing any method name or anything, it is very important. Now this particular one, you can write anything. This is a variable. This thing you can write anything, but you have to mention import here. Import, you cannot write import EMPORTE, something wrong spelling, then gone, JavaScript will not load. That will be very important. In JavaScript the main problem will get to debug. That is the issue. Only debug possible. It will be a practice for you. Anything is not loading, any problem is you are getting, then just right click on inspect, and then click on console. You will show the error, you will get the error, what is the issue is there happening there. If you have to try to understand that problem, then what is the actually happening, because it's a view functionality. That's why on the fly, first it's not calling the server side component every time. That's why sometimes debug log, in the debug log you will not get the actual value. Okay, so be very careful on that particular one in the syntax. Now first of all, you have to understand when and when you have to call this one or you have to write this one. Then you have to try on your own. Otherwise, if you just see the video and then go through the video as a television show, then there will be no meaning to do this class. At the end of the day, you cannot write a single line of code if you don't practice in these things in your free time. Because at a certain level we can guide you, then after that you have to take your own. Okay,
Yes, sir.
okay. Now parameter, how can you pass, that is clear to all of you? Any questions, any doubt? This particular link part also clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now I'm coming to the different adapter. There is three type of adapter you have. One called where adapter, One called adapter, one called API adapter. Now, what is where adapter? I'm just explaining. First of all, I just do the track adapter. Now, whenever any adapter you want to use before any variable, see here, greeting is a variable. Before that, I have used the track adapter @track. Okay. Now, whenever actually you using the adapter, see on if you hover the particular adapter, you will get a information there. Decorator to mark private. It's a not adapter. It's a decorator. It's my mistake. Every time I'm calling adapter, it's not adapter. It's called decorator. Decorator. Three kind of decorator we have: where decorator, track decorator, and API decorator. Whenever you hover any kind of decorator, automatically it's giving you a syntax there. See here, automatically it will give you a syntax: decorator to mark private reactive properties. That means it's a private component. You cannot use this component outside of LWC, outside of this LWC. Now, why I am telling you outside of this LWC? Any kind of component, sometimes it is happening. There will be a multiple component and you want a communication between those components. That means like child relationship. Some parent component should call the child component value and some child component should call the parent component value. So this kind of when this kind of operation is happening, if you want to pass any value, variable value, then if you use this track decorator before any variable, then you cannot pass on another component because it's actually a local. Like in a Apex class, whenever any variable you are assigning as a private means the scope of that variable is inside that class only. Any other class, they cannot fetch that particular variable. Okay. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Same, if you don't use any kind of decorator, means before the variable, it is also a private. So using the track decorator or without using the track decorator, the same thing. That means it's a private variable. Private means it's actually you can fetch the data inside this particular component, but not outside that particular component. Okay.
Without track, right? This also call this private automatically.
Yes. This is actually private. You cannot call outside of this particular. This is the property of only this particular component. Outside of that component is not actually available. Same private. Even like if you consider, like let's say, if you just mention as a private variable or without giving any variable name, variable properties, if you write any variable in Apex class, what is happening? It is a private, right? Always.
Yes, sir.
If you want to use it public, then actually you have to mention public before the variable name. Then it will be actually considered as a public. Same thing is here also. Okay.
Okay.
Now, what is API? Just if you hover this particular one, you will get the actually the detail of that. Library, it's gone. See, API is declared, but its value is never read. Okay. Oh, okay. This is different. This is actually called decorator to mark public reactive properties. Just opposite to the track. If you want to make any variable as a public, if you want to use that particular one outside of that component, then you have to mention the decorator as public. Sorry, @API. Okay. Just I can show you one thing. There is another component I have written. This is a child component. Okay. So in the child component, what I have written, see, just a simple component. And in the simple component, what is I'm showing one of the variable value. And I just mentioned a div class. I just called a variable value. header input. This is a variable, just a variable. And in the JS, what I have done, I just given the header input is called this label is from child component JS. Okay. So if I just, and let's say whatever I used, yes, let's say if I just add this particular component in the home page, what will happen? Just let me adding this component. Child component is actually a new LWC I have written. So in this LWC, you have any problem? See, I have just used the, okay, one thing remember, I just forgot to mention. Whenever you want to use any decorator, first of all, you have to import that decorator from the LWC library. Otherwise, you cannot use. That means here, I just use @API decorator just means before the header input variable. If I just don't use this one here, means don't import this one, then it will show error. So first you have to import that particular decorator in from the LWC library. Same like previously what I am doing, we are just writing in the till this particular much, right? Lightning element only, but not now lightning element. I want to use the API decorator. That's why I am importing the API decorator from the LWC library. First you have to mention here, then actually you can use after that inside the lightning element. Clear? Don't, there should be no doubt. Any kind of decorator if you want to use, if it is a track or where, you have to mention first, you have to call it from the LWC library. Here see, I have called three, where, track and API. Now where and API is coming as a means light color. Why? Because I have not used anywhere. Just I commented all the code, that's why it's coming as a light color. But as I use the track decorator here, that's why it is coming as a bold color. That means I have used that one. So that's why when I'm hovering on API, it is telling API has been declared, but I have not used this value. It is not never read, means I have not used this value. But it is not telling when I'm hovering on the track, because I have just used the track here. But without importing the particular value from the LWC, you cannot use here inside the lightning element main part, extend part. Okay, clear?
Sir. But sir, private track decoder is not mandatory. So if
Anything
I
is not mandatory. There is no mandatory part. I just want to mention that if you want to use anything, either where adapter or the track where decorator or the track decorator or the API decorator, then first you
okay,
have to call from means import from LWC library. Otherwise, you cannot use. Whatever the
oh,
decorator you want to use, you have to call the decorator from the means import the decorator from the LWC library. What is mandatory and not, that is not the case. Yeah.
okay, sir.
Sir, I have used the track decorator here, but when hovering on track, it's showing its value never read. Why it is showing?
Which component you are talking, then I have to check, because
Track
never read means if I
on
just remove
hovering
this.
on track, it's showing its value never read, something like that.
No, it's showing in the API.
Okay. Sorry.
It's showing in the API. See, it's coming as a never read, not in the track.
Okay.
Because track I used, and here actually
Yes.
child component is showing track, because I have not used here track. I just used the API. Then you can see in the API it is not showing.
Okay. I saw wrong. Yeah.
Okay. Now, any questions on this particular lightning component, child component? It's a very simple component I written. Just I am just displaying one input value here. Input variable value. It's a static value I just shown here. Now, if I just add this child component, means this particular lightning element. See, I have not used the lightning card. See, it is not coming as a container. Very small line is coming. Okay. Now, what is showing in the child component? It is showing the label. This label is from child component. That means whatever is written there, it is showing. Now, if you want to use this particular variable inside another lightning component, how can you use? And how can you utilize that one? Means if you want to change or anything or override. First of all, I just mentioned, if you want to use any variable outside of lightning component or another lightning component, you have to mention at the rate API decorator. Then it will be public. Okay. Now, this particular hello world HTML, I just call the particular lightning component, child component. What I called, how actually you have to call the particular lightning component. First, C. C means automatically child component. It's coming as a child underscore. Or then see here automatically some of the list will come. Whatever the LWC component you want to call, you will get the list. Now I'm what component I want to call? I want to call child component update message. Now see here the name is coming different way. I have saved the component name as a child component update message. There is no gap between those. But here it is coming as a child component dash update that message. Why it is coming? This is the property of the LWC. Any component name, if you mention inside any component name, if you mention any upper character, then that character will be separated as a dash. Like here, update U capital. That's why child component dash update have happened. And message M capital, that's why again message has been separated. Now if I just mention update U small and message M small, then there should be no dash between those. One name will come, child component update message. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Same like see demo LWC. How actually I have written the demo LWC name. See here I have mentioned all the lower character. I have not mentioned anything as upper. That's why it's coming the full name. Now, if I mention L capital, then what will happen? It is coming as a demo dash LWC. Whenever they will get the uppercase character, they will just put a dash between those two characters. Okay. Before and after those character. Okay. Now, I want to call this child component. Okay. And then I want to change some input parameter. Which input parameter? These input parameters, header input. Header input parameter, see here actually I want to change. Forgot about this particular one. I just call this one. Now see here also it is coming the variable. This is the input variable. Header and dash input. Why it is coming in this way? Here actually I mention I as a capital. That's why it is actually I have to mention like header dash input. So just I want to use the variable header input and I want to change this one. Means I have overwritten. Whatever the child component value is there, I just overwritten with a new value. Now, if I don't mention this particular variable with the API decorator, then normally I cannot fetch there or I cannot do any operations here. Okay.
Sir, could you repeat this part?
Now I call the child component and then
Okay.
I want to use the variable inside the child component. Now, which variable I can use? Whatever the variable I have just mentioned as a API decorator, that variable I can use. If I have
Okay.
another variable, let's say here, I just mention another variable called input. I just put as a small value. Now I mention as 2. Okay, just see what will happen. Now in the div class, Another div class I am doing, and then I will show this one. Okay.
Okay.
There is two variable I mention as a API decorator. Now, I am just refresh this one. Here it is showing 2. Okay. Here also it is showing 2.
Okay.
Because I call the child component. That means if I don't mention this one, let's say I don't mention this one, I just call the child component, right? Then what will happen? Whatever the value is there, the same value it is shown here. Correct?
Automatically showing. Okay.
Automatically shown. Now I want to change one of the parameter value. Sorry, in variable value. Both of them is mentioned as a API decorator. Now, if I just mention this one as a track decorator, then what will happen? Let's see if I just mention this one as a track decorator, what will happen? See.
I think second part is not showing, sir.
You want
Absolutely. It will not show the second part. I think why it is staying showing track. Let me. No, it will show. Sorry, it will show the track variable means because I call the component, it will show the value, but I cannot override. Means I cannot use the I cannot want to change.
Okay.
Then I cannot change the value. It will show because I just call the child component.
Call the
Right
child component. Okay.
now, I'll show you. Let's say in this particular one, I just want to change this one header input. Okay, just I change that one. Hey, I have changed. That means a new value I have assigned. Now previously it is showing me the value whatever is there in the upper part. That means the child component. Now whenever actually I deploy this particular one and then call the variable and then I change that one, then when I refresh, then you see the above one has been changed.
Yes.
Though I call the child component, but as I have overwritten, it is changed. Now, can I change the lower one? This one.
This time is cannot change.
Let me check. It will be clear. Now, I am not giving any dash because why? I given all the name as a lower. Now it will it will show a error. It is not doing anything. Not show any error. It is not doing anything. See, it is not changing. Means actually you can see the component, but you cannot change the value. Why? Because you cannot use the value because it is mentioned as a track. Now, same thing if I mention as a API, same variable. And if I want to change it. So I have not changed anything here. Okay. I just decorator change. I have changed. See? Clear now?
Yes, sir. Clear. Both time see the value because of we are
Component I have
called child.
assigned because I have called.
Assign the child component.
I can
Okay.
use the variable or change the variable value if I use the parameter as a decorator as a API. Otherwise, not.
Okay, sir. Clear.
Everyone?
So this is the only purpose that we can rewrite the variable value or not. It is the only purpose of using API and track.
Not only purpose actually. Sometimes it is happening that mainly if you want to make a public now inside the particular parameter, inside particular of this particular lightning component, sometimes it can have that multiple buttons, multiple component is there, and you want to use some of the variable value everywhere. Now you want then whatever the value is there, automatically it should be faced everywhere, like the record ID. So if you store a record ID in a API variable, API decorator variable, then it will be static for all of the cases. Okay.
Yes.
And also parallelly you can use outside of the component. Means you can send the component value and also you can use the component value, or you can rewrite the component value.
Okay.
Shanta, any doubt on API decorator?
So API decorator is not a problem, but why will I use this decorator? What is the needed for this? Why will I use this part?
Just I mentioned. You are not listening my word actually. Just I mentioned the same thing. If you want to keep some value static all around the methods, whatever you call in the JavaScript component, or if you want to use the variable value outside of the component, and if you want to rewrite the value, rewrite the parameter value, then if you don't use the API, then you cannot rewrite or overwrite.
Okay.
Same thing I shown you here, right?
Mm-hmm.
If I just the same component, if I just when I'm using track, normally whatever the override operation I'm doing here, it is not reflecting in the child component. But whenever actually I use the API decorator, that means I got the access on the parent component to you override this particular variable value.
Okay. Sir.
Everyone, Nitadi,
হ্যাঁ ঠিক আছে ভেজ ভেজ
বলো।
না আমি কিছু বলছি না, ঠিক আছে বুঝেছি, আর একটু মানে দেখতে হবে আমায়, মানে একটু দেখলে ভালো হতো। এমনি ঠিক আছে, ক্লিয়ার হচ্ছে।
এটা অ্যাকচুয়ালি একেবারেই বেসিক জিনিসগুলো তোমাদেরকে বোঝাচ্ছি, ঠিক আছে? সো বিভিন্ন ধরনের ইভেন্ট হয়। নাও অ্যাজ আই মেনশন, different ইভেন্ট ইউ ক্যান ফায়ার: on change event, on select event, on click event. So those events actually there is no meaning to go one by one. You can just go any kind of button, you will just click, that means it's an on click event. On select means whenever you are selecting, that means whenever I am doing this particular selection, this is the on select event. On change means whenever actually I am changing some value, same like this hello world, I am changing something, this is called the on change event. So there is different event you have. On hover event, there is one thing called on hover. On hover means if you just scroll your mouse, any kind of button or letter or any kind of text, automatically some actions will fire. That's called on hover event. Those event you can actually search here, or you can learn from this particular lightning design system. Anything you can do here. Lightning design system, there is a different button structure, button grouping, data table also they are mentioned here. You can see the data table, basic data table, and different data table format. This is one kind of data table, that is called basic data table. Then you have data table with row numbers, that means it will come as a numbering. What is the code also it will show, it will give you. And JS component also it will show you. And then you can select like a sortable data table or with a selection data tables, that things you can do. So those things is already there. Even you don't have to write any code. You can, if you just check this particular HTML and JS, automatically you will get an idea that how it is called, what it is called. So you have to just search all those things. And also you cannot understand what is written, there is a documentation. Here you will get the detailed structure, detailed analysis also, that what kind of label or what kind of attributes is mentioned. Here actually you can see that in the opportunity they use the amount field, and attributes they mention the currency. That means if any kind of multi-currency is enabled in any organization, and any opportunity in which currency it is created, that currency it should be shown, then you can mention in the lightning data table. And also there is a different specifications. What is specifications? That is the different functions or event you can call, and also the parameters. What called data? Data is the array of data that will be displayed. What called columns? Array of the columns of data used to define the data types. That means the different column, the label, and in the column, inside the column, what is called label, field name, and type. That is also explained. So these things also you will get detail of this particular one. It will lightning. Just search with the lightning data table or lightning web component. Everything you will get the specifications. Here also you will get what kind of methods you can call. See, get selected rows. So this will help you whenever I just giving you the assignment, that whenever you selecting any account in it one data table, you just pass the ID in a separate data table, right? So this particular method you have to use, you have to call whenever you clicking of the rows. Okay. So these things actually you will automatically get idea. So you have to search and you have to go one by one, then actually you will get a better idea. Whenever you try to write something in your own, then actually will get more and more knowledge. Otherwise, if you are looking just a video, then it will be a looking a cinema. It will not help you everything. Okay, just let me go to the next part. Now, Somnath, this where decorator and track decorator and API decorator, what is the difference is clear?
ইয়েস স্যার। আর একটা
And
কোশ্চেন ছিল স্যার, এখানে যেটা চাইল্ড কম্পোনেন্টকে আপনি কল করলেন, চাইল্ডের মধ্যে পেরেন্ট কি কল করা যায়?
হ্যাঁ, কল করা যায়। এটা ডুয়াল ওয়েতেই ইভেন্ট কমিউনিকেশন হয়।
আচ্ছা।
এলডব্লিউসির এটা একটা অ্যাডভান্টেজ। আগে অরা কম্পোনেন্টে কি ছিল, শুধু চাইল্ড থেকে পেরেন্ট কল করা যেত, বাট ওয়ান ওয়ে ছিল। এখানে তোমার মানে আপনার পেরেন্ট থেকে চাইল্ড, চাইল্ড থেকে পেরেন্ট দুটোই কল করা যায়।
মানে পেরেন্টের এপিআইটা নিয়ে আমি চাইল্ডের মধ্যে ওখানে আমি ইউজ করতে পারি।
হ্যাঁ, হ্যাঁ। এখানে অ্যাকচুয়ালি দেখুন, এখানে যে কম্পোনেন্ট লেখা আছে না, এটা কিন্তু চাইল্ড বোঝাচ্ছে না, এটা হচ্ছে কম্পোনেন্ট, সি ফর কম্পোনেন্ট। আমি যদি এখানে একটা জায়গায় এখানে কম্পোনেন্ট এরকম ভাবেই লিখি HTML এ, এখানেও যদি আমি লিখি যে সি বলে হাইপেন, দেখুন আমার কাছে এখানে ওই চাইল্ড কম্পোনেন্ট প্যারেন্ট কম্পোনেন্টটা চলে আসবে, নাম হচ্ছে হ্যালো ওয়ার্ল্ড, দেখুন চলে এসছে, আমি সেটা ইউজ করতে পারি। সো এখানে কোনো চাইল্ড পেরেন্ট মানে আমি কিভাবে ইউজ করছি তার উপর ডিপেন্ড করে এটা পেরেন্ট চাইল্ড হচ্ছে। আমি অ্যাকচুয়ালি একটা কম্পোনেন্ট বানিয়েছি, সেটা আমি একটা মাস্টার কম্পোনেন্টের ভিতর ইউজ করেছি দেখানোর জন্য। তার মানে এটা চাইল্ড হয়ে গেল, এটা মাস্টার হয়ে গেল, পেরেন্ট হয়ে গেল। বাট আমি ভাইস ভার্সাও করতে পারি। আচ্ছা, এবার লাস্ট যে ডেকোরেটরটা আজকে আমি বোঝাবো আজকের মতো, সেটা হচ্ছে ওয়্যার ডেকোরেটর। ওয়্যার ডেকোরেটর আর অ্যাডাপ্ট মানে কি, এটা অ্যাকচুয়ালি হচ্ছে এক ধরনের, আমি যদি একটুখানি ডিটেলসে যাই তাহলে তোমাদেরকে ডিটেলসে বললে আরো ভালোভাবে বোঝানো যাবে। ডেফিনিশনস, অ্যাকচুয়ালি সবাই এখন ডেফিনিশন খোঁজে। সি এপিআই ট্র্যাক ওয়্যার ডেকোরেটর, এই লিঙ্কটা আমি তোমাদের সাথে শেয়ার করে দিচ্ছি, এখানে আরো ডিটেলস পেয়ে যাবে। এই গ্রুপটাই তো বাবা। এই যে চাইল্ড কম্পোনেন্ট যেটা আমি বোঝালাম, সেটাই এপিআই দিয়ে বুঝিয়েছে এখানে। আচ্ছা, এটা অ্যাকচুয়ালি রিঅ্যাক্টিভ ওয়্যার, অ্যাকচুয়ালি রিঅ্যাক্টিভ কম্পোনেন্ট, সরি রিঅ্যাক্টিভ একটা অ্যাডাপ্টার। রিঅ্যাক্টিভ কেন বলছে? নর্মালি এটা অ্যাসিনক্রোনাস ওয়েতে কল হয়। অ্যাসিনক্রোনাস ওয়েতে কল হয় মানেই এটা কিন্তু this where adapter, where decorator, whenever we are calling any component, that will be called in a asynchronous way. That means whenever the all the you can say the variables, all the memory will be cleared in Apex, then actually it will calling the particular method automatically and then fetching some data. Okay, so react, that's why it's a reactive. And also in the meantime, if you just change anything, then automatically this changed value will be fetched. And this where adapter also, where decorator also will be called same like connected callback. Okay. That means connected callback also doing the same, where decorator is also doing the same. Now, when actually we use the where decorator, if I want to do something cacheable, that means if we want to load a bulk record, chunk of records, and if you want to store or display any list, then actually we can use the where decorator. It's very fast, and also as it is calling in a asynchronous way, that's why it's not hitting the limit. Okay, and it is storing in a cache, that's why it's actually very fast. That's why. And how actually you call this where adapter? Sorry, where decorator. So just explaining. First of all, again, if I use the where decorator, you have to mention here. Okay. Second, let's say this is the way. Now this is actually why it is calling as a raid, because I just removed this particular one. Now there is no method called get contacts here. Here is actually one, but I will not use this one. Now for where adapter, if I calling any method, I have to be very sure how actually I can call the method. I will show you what actually the consideration I have to do. Let's say another method I'm just writing. Now I'm giving where contact. Okay. Same parameter I'm passing. But whenever I am using any method in a where adapter, then just be sure another parameter you have to mention inside the or enable call cacheable equal to true. Always you have to mention this one. Otherwise, you cannot call any method in a where adapter. So before whatever we have done, any method, if you want to use in a lightning component, just I mention @ or enable. But if if you want to call any kind of method or use any kind of method in a where adapter, sorry, where decorator, then always you have to mention not only or enable, along with or enable, you have to mention cacheable equal to true. That's why I told you, because it is always storing the caching data. Okay. Cacheable equal to true, you have to call here. Now I will use this particular method. Just let me deploy this one. Oh, sorry. Just for demo purpose, just same thing here also. Delete this one. And then I have to deploy. Now in the where adapter, see, as I use the where adapter or open the where adapter, now it is coming as a bold one. Okay. Now I have to open that one, and you have to use this particular method here. Okay. Get context, I given the local name, and I calling this method. Now get context, I'm calling from the where decorator. How I'm calling where decorator? Where decorator, inside where decorator, I'm calling the method, then comma, then in between the second bracket, I'm passing the parameter. Here, how actually I have done, I just call the method name and then first bracket inside the first bracket, inside the first bracket, then I'm just starting the second bracket, mentioning the parameters, different parameters, and closing the second bracket. But this is different. The syntax is different. First, I'm calling the method. Okay, then comma, then the parameters I'm mentioning. Here, actually, I can mention another parameter, same like email ID. I can mention blank or whatever I want. Even I can mention, first of all, one value here. Actually, this particular one I can mention. Like same way, here also I can mention like this dot. What is the variable name I mention here? Account ID. And here also this dot email. Another rectifications I have to do here. The variable name is called account ID, ACC ID. Then I have to change here ACC ID. Same thing here is a called email ID. I have to change here also the email ID. There is already. This particular part is clear. How you have to call the where decorator, and how you have to inside the where decorator, how you have to call the method, any method. First of all, remember any method which one you want to call in a where decorator, you have to mention not only or enable but also cacheable equal to true. Otherwise, you cannot call that particular method. Okay. Second thing, you first have to import that where decorator from LWC library. Then @where. Just like a decorator we are mentioning here @track, @API, same like @where. Then first bracket start method name, which method I want to call, then comma, then the parameters I'm passing. Here you can have multiple, then just do give comma and then mention all the parameters you want to pass. Okay.
Notice.
Now, whatever the data you are getting, this is actually called the result here, .den. This is the part called .den. It's actually any kind of local value, you can say con data. I'm just giving any name, con data. Whatever the value you are returning as a result, you are getting in a result, it is coming in a JSON-like structure. And it's coming in a combination of error and data, always. In the where, always you will get the parameters, sorry, the data, the return value in these two format, error and data. Okay. Same like if you go here, actually they call the method. They have not passed any kind of parameters. And they, whatever the return they are getting, they are storing in particular, this particular list or variable, you can say, not list. I will not say it is list. This is actually a different kind of variable. This variable is actually a JSON kind of variable. Here automatically the error parameter and data parameter is storing. It's not like that particular record, whatever we are getting as a result. It's not like same. Here actually directly we are assigning the result in the list, right? Here you cannot assign the result. You have to fetch the data first and then you have to mention in a list. That means data component, you can say that this is actually any kind of name you can give. It's a local name. In the local variable name, automatically the data will be fetched in a error component and data component. And in between that error and data component, you have to fetch the data component and then you have to assign. In normal method calling, either it is a connected callback or from a button click or any event, whenever you are calling any method, then automatically the data is coming in a result. But here it's coming as a combination of error and data. Not only data, along with error also it's coming. That's why I am just done the same thing. If it is data, then I'm parsing. See, it's parsing means it's a JSON format structure. In a error, we getting some value. In data, we getting some value. Error node and data node, you can say, in a JSON structure. And from the data node, I am assigning that I am getting the data and then I am assigning in a list. Clear this part?
Hmm.
Any doubt? What is the difference between the where method call and assigning the data, and what is the difference between the normal method call and assigning the data or assigning the value? It should be very clearful. It should be very clear to all of you, because I told you that if you just forget any syntax, it can create a problem. You can stringify the data, otherwise how you directly you can assign the con data dot data. Con data is actually the local variable name dot data. In this way also you can assign. Con data is a JSON, and then on the data node, whatever the value is there, I am assigning in a list. Or directly you can stringify, means you can, sorry, not stringify, you can parse the data, whatever you want, whatever, it will be easy for you to understand. The same thing I'm doing here. I'm just displaying another list, lightning card, to give you an idea. It's called lightning data table 3, which is I am calling from the where method. And like the list of component, I am assigning another list where contact, another variable I assign.
বন্ধ হয়ে গেছে।
Now just I'm just replying this one. Now this particular one I have to assign here. So what I have done, I just mention a new variable, list variable, and that in that list variable I assign the data, and that list I am showing in a different lightning card called contact record 3. Now what will happen? Let's go to the home page. Just I'm refreshing the page. Account ID, what is happening? Account ID. What is the variable here? Oh, okay. It's not taking this dot account ID. No, there is a format of the variable where parameter. There actually I have to use the different one. The parameter I have to pass like this way. So dollar. Let me check. No, dollar to mention. There is a format. I forgot the format. Let me check the format, how actually I can pass the parameter. Yeah, correct. So see, there is a difference also to passing the parameters here. Just I forgot, then I check some of the syntax. Sometimes I cannot understand, sorry, cannot remember the syntax here. How actually I have passed the parameter here. Normal case, in normal parameter, normal method calling, I passing the parameter call simply this dot something. But in where you cannot do something like that. Just you have to mention a dollar sign before the variable name. Account ID is a variable here, right? I just mentioned the account ID. Before that, I mentioned dollar, and all those together, I just mentioned inside a single inverted comma. Sorry, single quotation. Same like email. Clear in this particular one? So that means directly, if you mention this dot, it will not be, it will show error. However, actually, the error I am getting whenever I am refreshing the page, I am getting some error in the screen, right? That is actually the syntax error. That's why it is coming something like that.
So when I using where decoder, so this time is dollar
Where
sign is mandatory.
decorators, whenever you are using, then if you
And
want to pass any variable, and if you want to pass the value as a dynamic one, dynamic from any variable, if you want to pass the value, not the static one. Static one
okay.
means if you directly want to use this particular value,
Oh,
then you don't have to give any kind of dollar value here. Directly you can pass. But instead of giving the static value, if you want to pass any variable, then how you can pass? You have to mention the variable name before that dollar sign and all together inside a single quotation.
okay, sir.
Okay, clear everyone?
Okay, sir. Clear.
Yes, sir.
Same thing actually I just called. See, this is the contact record 3, and here you can see that one record is coming. Why? Because I have given the email filter and account ID filter both. From the where decorator, I called, and also I just mentioned where decorator always will be called on the time of load. See, it is not called. The button click method is not called. What is called? Connected callback method is called, and where decorator method is called. At the time of loading, it is called. It is actually calling this particular one. Okay. Now, if I want to pass any, you don't want to pass any value. Same like I just mentioned as a blank. And if I refresh, then I think it will show all 3 values. See, contact record 3 means I have not pushed, I'm sorry, I have not sending any email ID filter here. Just I send the account ID filter. But remember, where decorator is some little bit different than the normal method calling. Inside the where decorator, whenever you are calling the method, then giving the comma and then passing the parameters. When the passing the parameters, if you doing any variable, then before the variable you have to assign the dollar, and all together you have to put in a single quotations. Then whatever the value you are getting, it should be a JSON like format. One node will be error node, another node will be the data node. Data node actually it's returning the, it's actually getting, it's the value, whatever the value you want, this the return value is stored in the data node. Error means any kind of error, means here the same like whenever we are doing dot then and catch, that's the same, any kind of syntax error or any kind of SQL error or something, any exception, if it is actually written, then it will be stored in the error node. Now, if I want to fetch the only the data node, then just before that I just stringify. That means I am done parsing those particular data node, and then that data node, whatever I parsed, then I am assigning that data node in a variable, local variable, and mentioning the error as undefined. But if there is any error, then actually I'm mentioning this one in the different error variable. Okay, always in the where decorator, the data will means whatever the data means whatever the return value will get, always it will be mentioned in a error node and data node. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Now, what is the use of the error? Sorry, where decorator I just mentioned. If you want to see more details, actually you can search with a where decorators. You will get the means details values here. That means detail explanation that when you should use the where decorator, when you should not use the where decorator. Normally, as I mentioned, if you want to dynamically and quickly fetch a large number of data, as it is actually caching the data and also asynchronously called, then actually you can use the where decorator. But normal cases, connected callback is far better. Why I told you connected callback is far better? Because it is not caching the data. That means anytime any changes is happening, and by default, by force on the LWC component, if you want to refresh the page or component, automatically the connected callback will return back to you the updated node or updated value or updated list. But same thing if you do in a via where decorator, normally it will take some time, even you forcefully refreshing the page or refreshing the component. But where decorator always store that particular table or whatever the value in a cache, it will take some time to get you the updated value or the new value. Okay, hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So I think that is from today. It's enough for you, all of you, because if I continue more, then it will be very hectic for all of you. So just today I explained that how you can call a method with a parameters. Means you can pass the parameters. Any Apex method you can call, and how you can pass the parameters. One parameters or multiple parameters. Also, the three different decorators. Where decorators, track decorators, and API decorators. API decorator is nothing but the public decorator. That means if you want to use that particular decorator outside of the component and also want to override or do some actions, then you should use the API decorator before the variable. Track decorator is nothing but the private decorator. Without mentioning the track also, it is actually the private decorator. Where decorator is nothing but a where method. Actually, it's calling the server side component. It's a connection, you can say. Connection
It
between
is
the
work like it is work synchronously, na?
asynchronously.
Connected, where asynchronously.
Yes.
Where decorator work
Connected callback
asynchronously.
synchronously call.
Synchronously call. Okay.
Yeah. So where decorator is nothing but a connection between the LWC component, means client side component to the server side component. Client side means the LWC page, whatever you are JavaScript or HTML combination. And server side means the Apex logic or the database. That means data table, whatever you are fetching from the Salesforce side. So where decorator is actually calling, means connecting between these particular two, and when it is connecting at the time of load, it's calling the data asynchronously and also caching the data. And how actually you can call a method with a parameter in a where decorator, this actually I explained. And yeah, so that's it. Actually, any doubt, any questions, anything here? So next day, everyone just do a assignment. First of all, in one table, data table, just show all of the account. Select any account and then clicking on button, just show the related contacts of that account. Remember, there is 2 points. One, Whenever you are showing the account, you can select only one at a time, not multiple. Whenever you are selecting the account, that account ID should be passed to the next level. That means whenever you are clicking the button, that button as a parameter, that selected account ID should be passed, and then automatically those related contacts will be shown in a different data table, just below of the account data table. Columns, whatever you want to show, you can show anything, whatever you want. Yeah. Yes, Nitadi. হ্যাঁ বলো নিতাদি বলো।
আর না, ওটা এমনি ভুল করে হয়ে গেছে, হ্যান্ড রেজ হয়ে গেছে।
ওকে,
সরি।
so this will be a small assignment for all of you, so that I can understand, okay, how much actually you understand the LWC. And that particular part you can use this lightning component, whatever you are building, you should assign that particular lightning component in a home page in your developer org. Clear?
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you everyone. Just I'm stopping the recording.